Okay, so sorry I have you guys backed up because I don't want the spray to hit the camera. But so this is it. I'm gonna hit the button and then I'm just gonna start shooting the knockdown. So a trick that I've also found is if you squeeze the trigger, it's gonna come out finer. So if you squeeze it, instead of just, if you hold it, it's gonna come out finer. But if you squeeze it, it'll come out thicker. So depending on how thick the textures you need to match, you can either squeeze it, or if it's a thin one, you can just hold it and let it spray. So this one, I had to keep squeezing it to get it a little bit thicker. We're gonna let that set up before I knock it down. And then over here, I'm gonna probably squeeze it. I'm gonna switch this yellow tip for the black tip. I'm gonna turn it on and you'll see on this side. Okay, so let me, so that one I held it all the way and I just, because it's a lighter texture, it's an orange pelt. So let me clean these up. I'm gonna take that down. I'll knock that down and then we'll take a look as it dries up. Okay, I let that one set up a little bit. So let me go ahead and knock it down and then we'll let it set up some more as it dries up. And to replicate the knockdown, you're just gonna put your knife, whatever size knife you use, you can use a 6, 8, 10, 12. You're gonna just put it real flat to the wall where the handle's almost touching the wall and just lightly drag it. You're gonna lightly drag it and that's gonna knock down the humps, the mountains, the nipples, the tips, whatever you wanna call it. It's just gonna knock them down to give you that more flat, separated, crater type look, okay? Now we're still letting it dry. But this is that hard line that I was talking about, okay? I have one over here too. You want it to be where it's fanned out. See where the bottom down here, the texture is more fanned out and it's gonna blend more into the surrounding wall. So this is our DAP one, it's already drying up. We're gonna take a look at that in a little bit, but it's already drying up. But these are fanned out. It's feathered out, spread out a little bit more than having that hard line. So let me back up. So you can see the bottom, it's more fanned out, and then the top it has a hard line. So what you can do is take a wet sponge. Take a wet sponge, where am I at? Okay. And then you're just kind of kill it, make it go softer, make it a softer edge, but you're going up. I can't do it and look at the camera, so let me see. You're just kind of trying to soften it. Hopefully the paint will help it. That's why you want to back your tape off and you're masking. So this one's still too wet. The other thing you can do is before you paint it is get a sanding sponge, and before you go to paint it, you can just give it a real light sand on that edge to kind of kill that edge. Okay, so we're gonna let these set up and then we'll see how good we matched it up. Okay, so for our large patch, I'm gonna go ahead and do orange peel on this one. So let me turn that one on and I'm gonna spray that. I didn't mask it because obviously it's just a mock-up. Obviously something I did forget to mention is dust, because I was on the bottom, I totally forgot to sweep up. So you saw some of that dust come up. So that dust could knock stuff into the texture and on the wall, and you'll have goobers later. When it dries up, you can knock it down with a knife or a light sanding on top of it just to knock down any big pieces or chunks, or just paint into it. I mean, it may be not that noticeable. Okay, let me hit the plumbing patch. Okay, so I'm gonna hit the plumbing patch. It's gonna be a heavier knockdown. Now, I didn't sweep up, so there might be some stuff that blows up, and that's something you need to be mindful of when you're doing lower patches, is making sure the area is clean. But I'm just gonna go ahead and shoot it, just to shoot it anyways, I guess. And I have the yellow tip on this one. This is the yellow tip. Okay, we'll give that a minute and then we'll come back and knock that down.